At my dad's birthday party, my name tag read, "The Disappointment." No one tried to deny it. Last month, we threw a surprise party for my dad's 60th. Or rather, my sister did. I was invited as an afterthought. I already knew how the night would unfold, me lingering on the sidelines while everyone swooned over Chelsea and her shiny new fiancé. She's the golden child. Accomplished. Graceful. Flawless. Still, I went. It was for my dad. I even brought a gift. A vintage vinyl record he used to talk about when I was a kid. Took me 2 weeks of hunting to find it in decent shape. The venue was a rented rooftop lounge downtown. Champagne towers, catered hors d'oeuvres, a string quartet. Classic Chelsea. She greeted me with a kiss on the cheek and one of those stiff hugs she saves for public appearances. "Name tags are by the door," she chirped, already halfway back to her circle. I walked over and saw it. Right between Mr. Reliable, my cousin Jason, and the favorite, Chelsea's own tag, was mine, The Disappointment. Written in thick black marker. Not even trying to be subtle. I stood there for a second, waiting for someone to laugh and say, "Oops, that wasn't for you." But no one did. So I peeled it off the table, slapped it on my chest, and walked in. People noticed. Some smiled uncomfortably. One of my uncles chuckled and said, "At least they're honest," then patted my back like it was some inside joke. I gave my dad the vinyl. He barely glanced at it before setting it aside and asking if I'd figured out my life yet. I stayed exactly 43 minutes. Didn't cry. Didn't argue. Didn't even eat cake. Just went home and started planning. Because here's what they'd all forgotten. What Chelsea definitely forgot. I used to work in IT security. Still freelance now and then. In fact, I was the one who originally set up her company's cloud infrastructure. Guess who still had admin access? That night, I logged into her shared drive. She never changed her passwords. Rookie mistake. Inside, I found more than I expected. Client contracts that breached NDAs, altered invoices, messages discussing fake followers, padded PR numbers, even faked engagement data meant for investors. Enough to burn her entire agency to the ground. But I didn't post it online. That would have been too easy. Too obvious. Instead, I compiled everything. Documents, screenshots, timestamps. Into an anonymous, detailed tip. Then I sent it to her biggest client, a socially conscious beauty brand that prides itself on transparency and ethics. 3 days later, Chelsea posted a cryptic story about losing a key partnership due to corporate politics. A week after that, 2 more clients cut ties. Then, an employee, who I reached out to anonymously, leaked internal emails that aligned perfectly with my tip. In less than 2 weeks, Chelsea's empire crumbled. And the family group chat? Silent. My dad hasn't called. Chelsea hasn't posted in over a month. But a few nights ago, I got a text from Jason. 5 words. "They're finally talking about you." Good. They should be. It's been 3 weeks since the party. 3 weeks since that name tag. 3 weeks since I sent the files. And I never realized silence could feel this satisfying. Until my mom called. "Hey, honey," she said like nothing had happened. "We're having dinner Sunday. Just family. Your dad wants everyone there." Translation: they figured it out. A part of me wanted to decline, the sensible part. But another part, the one they'd been quietly dismissing for years, wanted to show up and see their faces now that the golden child's crown had cracked. So I went. Dinner was at 6. I arrived at 6:03 on purpose. The room was quiet. Not awkward, but intentional. Everyone was there. My parents, Chelsea, her fiancé, Jason, a handful of relatives. The same ones who had laughed when I wore that name tag. No one smiled. I sat down. No hugs. No small talk. Just the clink of silverware. My mom passed me the mashed potatoes like we were in some perfect little painting. My dad never looked up from his plate. It was Chelsea who broke first. "You think that was justified?" she asked, her voice low but sharp. "Destroying my business?" I didn't respond right away. I just looked at her. "You couldn't take a joke," she said bitterly. "So you went behind my back and leaked private files to my clients?" Do you even realize what you've done to me? I set my fork down gently. You called me the disappointment at Dad's birthday. In front of 30 people. That wasn't a joke. That's been my whole life with you. Mocking me. Dismissing me. Humiliating me. And now you're shocked I didn't just take it again. The cake wasn't even my idea, she snapped. But you laughed, I said. And you printed the name tag. She flinched. Just for a second. But then her walls came back up. That still doesn't justify what you did. You've always been jealous of me. I stood up. This was never about jealousy. It's about consequences. You don't get to walk over people and call it ambition. You don't get to bury everyone else's value and pretend it makes you shine brighter. Not anymore. Then I turned to my dad. And you? You just sat there. Like always. Like pretending to be neutral makes you innocent. He opened his mouth. But nothing came out. I looked around the table. No one met my eyes. Thanks for dinner, I said. Then I walked out, calm, steady. No shaking hands. No tears. The next morning, my mom texted me. Maybe you could have handled it differently. But I'm sorry for not stopping it sooner. I should have said something. I haven't replied. I don't know if I will. Chelsea hasn't posted anything since that night. Her agency's website is still up, but it's been quiet. A few of her old clients have started working with competitors. That industry moves fast when trust breaks. As for me, last week I signed 2 new freelance contracts. Both referrals. One client told me they'd read an article about a whistleblower in boutique marketing. Said they appreciated my attention to detail. The name tag? It's taped to the inside of my desk drawer now. Not as a trophy. Not out of spite. Just a quiet reminder. You can only call someone a disappointment for so long before they show you exactly who should have been disappointed all along.